Statement PS 74, submitted by Bex Martin. I would like to highlight many concerns and issues arising from the EBLN scheme. 1. Lack of adequate consultation and sensible adjustments. I am gravely concerned that the Council has not followed the LTN implementation guidance. I, along with many other residents, expressed the urgent need for local services such as a pharmacy and dentist. We gave constructive feedback and simple suggestions for improvements, but we have been completely ignored. This is being done to us, not for or with us. The scheme makes a mockery of the Council's planning ability and their duty of care to residents. 2. Increased traffic and pollution. The traffic congestion has significantly worsened since the implementation of the trial and is causing higher levels of air pollution, including directly outside 2 schools. Pushing traffic to outlying roads just moves the problem. The removal of all but one access point has directly contributed to this. 3. Marsh Lane Busgate. Buses do not use this road, so I question whether it is lawful to restrict access with a bus gate. 4. Unreasonable detours. I go to St Anne's regularly. I need to use Blackswarth Road, which is now gridlocked for most of the day owing to the closure of Beaufort Road. However, the traffic light junction does not allow me to turn right from Church Road into Blackswarth Road, or left into Church Road from Blackswarth Road. The recommended detour is unreasonable. The time and added cost of fuel is unfair, and the extended journey only adds to pollution levels. The EBLN scheme has turned every necessary short journey into an unnecessarily long journey. 5. Anxiety and psychological anguish. Every time I need to go somewhere, my anxiety increases tenfold. Restricting my movements to a less busy time of day or trying to work out a less lengthy route is completely overwhelming and exhausting. So much so that I don't want to leave my house if I don't absolutely have to. This is resulting in me feeling like a prisoner in my own home. 6. Safety and crime. The safety of pedestrians and cyclists is being compromised. Cyclists are now weaving in and out of gridlocked traffic and using pavements, which is clearly dangerous. In addition, the lack of passing traffic on roads that have been blocked off poses a serious threat to personal safety, particularly for women. It makes me fearful of walking around my area after dark. Again, this issue makes me not want to leave my home, further isolating me. 7. Emergency access. Bristol City Council claims to have not received any concerns from the emergency services. I have heard directly from a fire service employee who says that the scheme will indeed slow their response time as they try to negotiate heavy traffic. The same has been heard from an active paramedic. In an emergency, every second counts, and the inevitable delays will ultimately cost lives. 8. Impact on local businesses. Many local businesses are already struggling due to reduced passing trade. The increased difficulty in accessing these businesses will likely lead to further decline, which will threaten their survival and thus reduce the available amenities to local residents. 9. Impact on families. The traffic bottlenecks caused by these changes are also detrimental to families, as they are spending more time stuck in traffic rather than with their loved ones. Given that ANPR cameras are equipped with number plate recognition technology, if this scheme is meant to improve residents' lives, then those within the scheme boundary should be allowed to retain access to more than one entry-exit point. This would provide a more balanced approach, allowing residents to navigate their local area without facing unnecessary delays. Instead, the scheme penalises the very people whose lives are supposed to be more livable. 10. Impact on taxis. I am due to have knee surgery, and I am already experiencing difficulties getting taxis. Owing to the traffic and time taken to get to from East Bristol, taxi drivers are refusing to take jobs in the area. How am I going to get home from the hospital after surgery and to from subsequent outpatient appointments? 11th. Impact on tradespeople. Getting tradespeople to do jobs in my house is getting increasingly difficult. Tradespeople can't afford to waste time in all the traffic, so they are either charging much more money for doing work in the homes of people in Barton Hill and Redfield, or refusing the job completely. In conclusion, I urge the Council to reconsider the ongoing trial and to take into account the serious negative impact it is having on local residents, businesses, and the environment. These issues disproportionately impact people living inside the EBLN boundary, resulting in a significantly less livable neighbourhood. I hereby request an immediate halt to the trial for reassessment and proper community engagement.
Statement PS 78, submitted by Mike Curry. My objections are, this is not the 1950s. Local shops and services are no longer walkable. Business rate centralization and online shopping have decimated local services. Access to these services is car-based. Bus service is very inadequate. The blocking of roads has increased journeys for all residents, and GIS analysis indicates a substantial increase in journey mileage. Considering this is meant to reduce car journeys is at variance with objective analysis. The assumption everyone can cycle is ableist and directly penalizes any person who, for whatever reason, is unable to cycle. This disadvantages significant numbers of people. Also, any in need of care and support is impacted as carers' journeys have all significantly increased, with costs passed on directly to either the council or the individual. It impacts adversely on communities. The obvious example is Barton Hill. It impacts on places of worship, again examples are the mosque and Catholic Church, which are area-based resources. There is no equality impact assessment, or if it does exist, there won't be the granular detail which actively considers the impact. Access to Avonmeads as the local shopping centre is impeded. Again, the ability to turn right back into St. George after subsequent visits is problematic. The only junction for the right turn is on Church Road, and Blackswarth Road means turning right will be challenging. The traffic light timings need reviewing, and yet this is ignored. Beaufort Road is problematic, and the main supporters of the blocking of this road exacerbate the problems by insisting on parking opposite their houses on the pavement, arguing they have an inalienable right to park where they want. Two obvious solutions are traffic calming measures or a variable one-way system. In terms of pollution, electric cars are already reduced carbon emissions and will continue to do so as electric cars become more affordable. Statement PS 86, submitted by Stephen Salinger. I live on Air Balloon Road, BS 5. The impact of the EBLN to date has been horrendous. I cannot imagine how much worse it will get if more roads are closed between now and the end of January. The idea that this will be a 6-month trial needs to be reconsidered. This is disrupting people's lives. People can't get to work, they can't manage school runs, they can't get relatives to the doctors, they can't get tradesmen, they can't get taxis to even drive in the area. The main roads around the EBLN are gridlocked every morning. I would support an immediate pause of further road closures. Although I have heard the argument that there will be initial disruption, I do not think the level of disruption was anticipated, and this needs to be taken into account in considering continuing with the trial. Please reference the recent experience in Exeter, where the whole scheme was removed. I see a similar thing happening here, and if possible, I would like to avoid an enormous waste of taxpayers' money. I have requested the budget and management account on 3 occasions, and I've not been sent anything yet.
Statement PS 92, submitted by Liz Staples. With the rollout of Phase 1 of the EBLN scheme, I am finding increased pollution on Speedwell Road, where I live with my 9-year-old daughter. The roads surrounding our road, Plumbers Hill, Holmes Hill Road, Clouds Hill Road all stacked with traffic. Bell Hill is another road we use under an immense amount of pressure. I have never seen the roads like this right out to Avon Meads and Hanham/Easton/Fish Ponds. I am a single working mum who, given my personal commitments, can't just use the bus or cycle. Walking isn't an option to school, work. We spend a lot of time in St George, Arsh, Redfield, but since this scheme started, it's now dangerous using the pavements with cars mounting the curbs, and the pollution is in the air. This scheme was meant to reduce pollution and congestion. It's done anything, but I think it's appalling that the pollution is being pushed outside primary schools. The scheme isn't transparent in its monitoring. It needs to be monitoring the roads that you've pushed congestion, not on closed roads. The infrastructure, buses and cycle paths just aren't in place to support such a scheme. This is impacting my family personally, breathing in these fumes, day after day. Congestion, stress impacts, it all adds up. My brother-in-law has a painting and decorating business. He is struggling to drop his son to school, to the paint distributor, then on to work. This scheme is certainly not livable, it's completely unrealistic. I need my car to visit my mum. She currently has some mobility issues, and I can't just use the bus to visit, it takes too long. Local shops are suffering, I can hear this when out shopping. You will the local high streets and businesses if this continues. The statement I am making here is this is unlivable. Take note and recognise that you need to consult the community of East Bristol. This isn't London. We don't have the tube or buses. This scheme wasn't supported by a majority vote, and although we all want safer streets, just sorting Beaufort Road and pushing this misery into East Bristol beggars belief. Beaufort Road could have traffic calming or made one way. I think that there are also well-being aspects that haven't been thought through. Elderly relatives and disabled will all be impacted as well as families like ours.